Right now on Sunrise at 6 o'clock, it's been 4 years since rioters stormed the U.S. Capitol trying to prevent the electoral process from taking place.
The eyes of the world will be on the United States Capitol to see what happens here on January 6th.
The pleas from the president to ensure what happened in 2021 doesn't happen again.
Plus, a man is dead and a woman is hurt after a shooting in Seminole County. Why police won't be pressing charges.
And pressing pause on building. Concerns over flooding in Edgewater have city leaders considering two major moves today.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News Sunrise starts now.
Good morning to you on what is a cool Central Florida start. And we're so glad that you're starting this day with the Sunrise team. I'm Jason Guy.
And I'm Meredith McDonough. Yes, let's take a look at those temperatures on your Monday morning. And we're seeing temps right now in the 50s at most of our spots, but things are going to be changing. First warning, meteorologist Kelly in class is joining us now. Kelly, and these are probably the warmest temperatures we're going to see all week.
This morning and this afternoon. The reason why there's a cold front that's going to move on through, which is going to give us impact weather today in the form of showers and thunderstorms. And then starting tomorrow, we'll have impact weather for the very cold air. But I do want to get you started with the storms for today. We are going to be watching for gusty winds north and west of the I-4 corridor, as well as the potential of an isolated tornado. But the severe weather threat is very isolated. That's going to start at 1 o'clock, and our impact weather continues through the 6 o'clock hour, just because we'll have some showers and thunderstorms then roll on through the I-4 corridor during that evening commute. Timing it out hour by hour, 2:30, 3 o'clock, working towards the north and west locations, and then towards I-4 around 3:30 and 4, but not actually crossing over I-4 until about 4:30, 5 o'clock. So this is why we'll have that impact weather, then moving down to the south and east by 6:37, and then by 8, 9 o'clock tonight, everything is clear, then that cold air settles in. We'll talk much more about that cold air coming up in a few minutes. First, though, let's get over to Megan with a check on the roads.
Kelly, good morning. Heading out the door early on this Monday, there is some construction happening along State Road 429. It's southbound here right at Plant Street. You can see in this camera here, looking like that right lane is blocked just ahead. So big backups here, seeing a lot of brake lights, and you can also see that on our map here this morning. So no crashes to deal with, but you can see, especially compared to that northbound side, you're going to be sitting in a bit of traffic because of that construction. So plan ahead for that. This should wrap up as we move closer to that 7 o'clock hour. I also do want to give you a live look heading out the door along I-4. This is in downtown Orlando. A great start here. No big crashes to impact your Monday morning, but of course a lot of people heading back to work after the holidays, so busier roads expected this morning. Our chopper is lifting. We'll take a look at those live pictures coming up in a few minutes.
The FBI says the man behind the deadly terrorist attack in New Orleans recently visited Tampa.
Yeah, agents are talking to his family now about that visit. The news comes as the FBI says Shamsuddin Jabbar visited New Orleans twice in the months leading up to the New Year's Day attack. Investigators say Jabbar used Meta smart glasses to film this video of Bourbon Street in October and again in November to plan out the attack. He was wearing those Meta glasses the night of the attack, but didn't activate them. Investigators also addressed the two devices found in the French Quarter and why they didn't explode.
He did not have access to a detonator, so he used an electric match in its place to try to set off the explosive material. That is the only thing that's unique about the IEDs.
President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden will visit New Orleans today to attend a vigil in honor of the 14 people killed in the attack. The president is expected to speak during the vigil. You can see WESH 2's coverage of that New Year's Day tragedy online. We've got that for you at WESH.com and on our WESH 2 News mobile app.
Congress will give its stamp of approval of the 2024 presidential election today, confirming President-elect Trump's win 4 years after the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Sheldon Dutez here now. And Sheldon, today is a test of years in preparation after that attack.
Oh, yeah, there will be more security at the Capitol today, and there's also a new law that aims to safeguard the electoral process. So now, for the first time, today's electoral certification is a national special security event, and the Secret Service will lead the security efforts, which coordinators hope will avoid another violent January 6th, guys.
All right, Sheldon. Now to Seminole County. This morning, we now know a man who deputies say shot and killed another man in Lake Mary will not face charges.
It all happened at a condo complex off of Lake Mary Boulevard. And WESH 2's Bob Hazen is live this morning at the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. Bob, investigators say that a woman was also hurt in the shooting.
Yeah, detectives here tell us that this started with an argument and that woman tried to break that up. It ended up getting shot along with another man who died from his injuries. And last night we did learn that the sheriff's office does not plan to arrest the shooter. They talked it over with the state attorney and decided that he fired in self-defense. They say they are still investigating and at this point have not confirmed the names of any of the people who were involved in this shooting. Covering Seminole County live in Sanford, Bob Hazen, WESH 2 News.
In Flagler County here, a new video shows the moment a deputy knocked a man off his bike after the sheriff's office says that the man pulled a gun. The Flagler County Sheriff's Office says this all began when a deputy tried speaking with the man as he stood near his bike on Pine Lakes Parkway. Deputies say Michael McDermott then tried to run away from them, speeding off on his bike. This is where deputies say that things took a turn. While chasing McDermott on his bike down Westminster Drive, deputies say he pulls out a handgun. That's when deputies say they were forced to stop him. Now, people who live around the area say that they're glad that no one was seriously hurt because this could have been much worse.
You're risking your life right there when you pull a weapon on a police officer, especially after he's giving you a lawful order, in my opinion. Yeah. Now, if they found that he didn't have a gun, I feel like it'd be excessive force, but if the guy was carrying a firearm.
Deputies say McDermott was charged with aggravated assault on an officer and resisting an officer with violence. His bond is set at $11,000. Take a look at this video. During this past hurricane season, when it comes to flooding, people in Edgewater could not catch a break. Well, today, the city council will vote on a temporary pause on certain building permits.
Let's get to WESH 2's Spencer Tracy, who's joining us live from Edgewater City Hall. Spencer, many people who live there hope this will alleviate the problem.
Jason, that's right, because we've spoke with many Edgewater residents who tell us after Hurricane Milton, to get into their homes, they had to travel by boat. That's just how high the water was. And one of the most impacted neighborhoods was the Florida Shores neighborhood. So tonight's meeting is at 6 p.m. So if passed, what this means is that it would become effectively immediately for a year. So it would go until January 5th, 2026. Of course, we'll keep you posted and we'll be at the meeting tonight and give you the latest. For now, I'm covering Volusia County. I'm live in Edgewater. I'm Spencer Tracy, WESH 2 News.
All right, Spencer, let's turn to your first warning weather. And we are getting you ready for day after day of what we're calling impact weather. Possibly today some severe storms, then the big chill.
Yeah, first warning meteorologist Kellyanne Class has everything you need to know on this Monday morning. Kellyanne.
Yeah, thankfully right now things are nice and quiet, but those storms are going to arrive this afternoon and this evening. And a couple of those could be on the stronger side, which is why today is going to be considered impact weather, those storms. Then following that, Arctic air moves in, where temperatures will be in the 30s tomorrow morning. At least for today, it's quite comfortable as you step out the door. Temperatures in the 60s, starting off with pretty calm conditions. Then by 1 o'clock, our impact weather begins all the way through the 6 o'clock hour because of those showers and thunderstorms. And then by 7 o'clock, even though we still have some rainfall around, the severe weather threat is over and it's no longer the evening commute. So things will be okay if you are going to be heading out along the I-4, I-75 corridors. Tomorrow morning, we'll wake up to temperatures in the 30s north and west of town, getting close to about 32 degrees in Marion Oaks and Rutland. So getting close to freezing in parts of our north and west spots, but most of us in the 30s with widespread frost and feeling much colder. We'll have those details coming up in a few minutes. First, though, it is 6:11. Let's get a check of the roads this morning with Megan.
Kellyanne, good morning. Heading out the door right now. Fortunately, there are no crashes right now to impact your morning drive. Our chopper just lifted. They're cruising live here over I-4. Traffic starting to get pretty heavy here traveling near those theme parks. So anticipate that this morning. A lot of people heading back to work after the long holiday break. So busier there. Also, if you're traveling along the 429 here in Ocoee at Plant Street, there's some big backups southbound. This is because of some construction. This is right at Plant Street. You can see the delays here on the map and the slowdowns. The right lane is blocked if you're traveling south, so lots of brake lights there. We'll check in with some travel times coming up here in just a few minutes.
We're bracing for a cold blast, but a monster winter storm is bearing down on millions of Americans.
We take a look at the near blizzard-like conditions that some areas are seeing and the warnings from low officials.
Plus, we're 136 days away from stepping through the portals. Now, a new store's helping Central Florida locals and visitors get ready for Epic Universe.
Closed captioning brought to you by National Floors Direct.
You're watching WESH 2.
This morning, those school buses are back on the roads as winter break ends for many students throughout Central Florida. Brevard, Lake, and Seminole County kids will be back in class today. Students in Flagler, Marion, Orange, Osceola, and Volusia County schools go back tomorrow, and Sumter County schools resume on Wednesday. We do hope that you had a fun and restful time off. Drivers, remember to watch out for kiddos at the bus stops and also walking to school while you're headed to work this morning.
Okay.
And you know it's cold when we're talking about the manatees here in Central Florida. Blue Springs State Park saw close to 700 manatees on Sunday. The Save the Manatee Club says that the river temperature was about 62 degrees. This time of year, manatees often visit Blue Springs State Park in search of warmer waters.
We're all looking for ways to warm up. Okay, as we bring in our first warning team, we have meteorologist Kellyanne Klass along with our first warning traffic expert Megan Mackey, and we're going to talk about roads and construction slowdowns and all that ahead. But let's begin here. This is a big impact day.
Yeah, we're talking about those cold temperatures coming, but also Kellyanne, you're monitoring some storms maybe later on today.
Yeah, so there's two totally different reasons why we have impact weather from today into tomorrow. Today's going to be for the showers and thunderstorms. Then starting tomorrow, we're going to have Arctic-like air across Central Florida, where morning temperatures will be in the 30s and then afternoon highs in the 50s. And that's going to continue all the way until Thursday. At least for today, the severe weather threat is going to be north and west of the I-4 corridor. It's an isolated severe weather threat, with wind being the biggest concern, though we'll be watching for any sort of rotation. So from 1 through the entire 6 o'clock hour, we have impact weather. And I would say from about 1 until 4 o'clock, the severe weather threat is what we're going to be focusing on. But we're still keeping that impact weather around for 5 and 6 because those showers and thunderstorms will then roll across the I-4 corridor just in time for that evening commute. After that, the cold air rushes into Central Florida. In Orange County, these are actual temperatures, not feels like temperatures. We're going to drop down to 39 degrees in Conway, Winter Park, Maitland, Christmas, Hunters Creek, 36 tomorrow morning in Zellwood, 41 in Winter Garden, 37 in Apopka, and the wider perspective shows even 30s for parts of Brevard County, 39 degrees in Palm Bay, 41 degrees in Melbourne, 39 degrees in Kissimmee, 36 in Leesburg, 35 in Ocala, 34 degrees in the Villages and in Wildwood. So we are talking about a widespread frost across Central Florida, and with a breezy wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour, it's going to feel much colder. It's going to feel like 27 tomorrow morning in Ocala and Palm Coast, 29 in DeLand, the Villages, Wildwood, 33 is what it's going to feel like in Orlando, 31 in Sanford, and it's going to feel like 33 degrees in Melbourne. And that continues for Wednesday and Thursday, where Wednesday morning, we are looking at a freeze for parts of Marion County. Ocala, you're going to drop down to about 32 degrees. That's going to continue into Thursday morning as well, along with the widespread frost all the way through Thursday morning. Right now, it's pretty comfortable when we're comparing the 50s to 30s. We're waking up to 50s all across Central Florida. So as you get the kids ready for school, maybe a jacket, a sweater, and have the rain gear with them, especially for areas north and west of the I-4 corridor, as those storms will roll through when you pick the kids up from school, and then along I-4 as we go towards that evening commute. Temperatures, though, today going to be the warmest all week, into the middle 70s and upper 70s, very breezy. And then tomorrow afternoon, much cooler with high temperatures in the 50s. Central Florida certified most accurate forecast shows that sunshine starting tomorrow through Friday, but it is going to be a very cold sunshine. This is going to be the coldest air since last year. Then by Saturday, we have another front rolling on through, which will keep our high temperatures in the 60s all weekend. Megan, good morning.
Good morning, Kelly. And getting another check of traffic this morning. There's still a lot of construction delays. If you're heading out the door here, it's along State Road 429. It's impacting those southbound drivers if you're heading out the door in Ocoee. Again, it's along the 429. Looking like it is starting to improve even within the last 10 minutes since we last checked in on traffic, but still some small delays here if you're traveling south, Plant Street here along State Road 429. Fortunately, right now, not seeing any big crashes, including along I-4, but heavier traffic here moving through downtown Orlando. This is a live look from our tower camera. This is right by Colonial Drive. Looking like it is really picking up here on this Monday. A lot of people heading back to work after the long holiday, so expect the roads to be busier this morning, and some schools are also heading back. A look at those travel times in Lake County along the Turnpike between US 27 and I-75. We're at 20 minutes in both directions.
A new store is getting you ready for the opening of Universal's Epic Universe,
where you can shop for all your Epic merch needs. Plus, new year, new taste. we break down the new flavors coming to Oreo cookies next on Sunrise.
Oreo lovers, listen up.
Yeah, we've got some news as the cookie company plans to release 6 new flavors here in 2025. Already on shelves, we've got this year's Super Bowl cookies and golden Oreo cakesters, okay? What do you think of that? The other new flavors include Irish cream thins and peanut butter. That one still, and I love peanut butter stuff, but I'm not so sure about this one. Irish cream, okay, dip that in your coffee maybe. Yeah, with a little Baileys. I'm sorry, did I say it? All right, the company's also releasing a new line of frozen Oreo bites. Oreo also announced new flavors in 2024, but this year they're going to be making some of them permanent.
Oh, I feel like you could be a taste tester, Jay. You have a lot of opinions on a few of these.
That's the problem. Yeah, too many.
The original, you can't go wrong though, right?
Nope.
All right, well, SeaWorld Orlando is offering a special deal for Florida residents. Kids ages 5 and under can get free admission to SeaWorld and Aquatica for all of 2025. Parents, though, you need to sign them up for the preschool card by February 3rd, and they must activate the card by visiting SeaWorld before February 28th.
Universal Orlando just opened up a new Epic Universe store, and this is at Orlando International Airport. This location gives travelers a glimpse into the 5 portals and those worlds. And there's new Epic merch available for you to buy. It's right there where they've had that Universal Studios store in Terminals A and B. Epic Universe is opening up May 22nd. All right, your time now is 6:26. There is a new Miss America.
After days of competition here in Orlando, the crown is heading south. We show you which state took home the crown and where Miss Florida placed. Kellyanne.
Today is going to be the warmest day this week. Ahead at 6:30, I take a look at the winter chill making its way to Central Florida.
First warning weather on WESH 2 is sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News Sunrise starts now.
Thanks so much for staying with us on this Monday morning. I'm Meredith McDonough.
And I'm Jason Guy. In Seminole County, drivers, get ready. A major road is closing soon. We're going to tell you about the stretch of 436 you need to be aware of.
Plus, Americans are still showing up to pay their respects for former President Jimmy Carter. The messages people are leaving for the late president ahead. But we want to get your day started with weather and traffic this Monday morning. First warning meteorologist Kellyanne Class is here now, and traffic expert Megan Mackey joining us. Megan, let's talk about the roads. I know that there's some construction out there now.
Yeah, and it's happening in Ocoee. It's along State Road 429. So we have our chopper there. We'll give you those live pictures in a moment. Kellyanne, dry for now, but that certainly is going to change heading towards this evening.
We have impact weather this afternoon and this evening for showers and thunderstorms moving across Central Florida. And at least for the first half of the afternoon, it's going to be for our north and west locations for severe weather. And the severe weather we're looking at is going to be gusty winds and watching that tornado potential. But again, that's going to be for areas north and west of the I-4 corridor. And if anything turns severe, it would be an isolated severe storm. After that, we still have that impact weather for 4, 5, and the 6 o'clock hour because this shower and thunderstorm activity is going to roll across our I-4 locations just in time for that evening commute. So timing it out hour by hour, 2:30, 3 o'clock, showers and thunderstorms along our northwest locations, 4:35, moving directly across the I-4 corridor and then pushing down to the south and east by 6:30 and 7. By 9 o'clock tonight, everyone is dry and clear, and then the cold air settles in. We'll talk about that piece of the forecast coming up in a few minutes. First, though, let's get back to Megan with the check on the roads.
Kellyanne, as I mentioned, that construction is impacting drivers this morning in Ocoee. It's along State Road 429. It's southbound here at Plant Street. This is a live picture from our chopper. Looking like they've just got all those lanes back open in this area, but for the last hour and a half, we've seen some pretty heavy backups traveling south through this area, approaching that Turnpike interchange. So looking like this is pretty much wrapping up this morning. Not looking like it's going to be an issue much longer, but there is a crash I want to mention heading out the door along State Road 436. This is at Aloma Avenue. Reportedly, all the lanes are shut down here this morning. We are sending our chopper that way. There's also going to be a lot of construction happening here. You can see that purple. We'll talk about that coming up here shortly in just a few minutes.
During Hurricane Milton, neighborhoods in Edgewater had more than 7 inches of rain.
And we know the city's been working on solutions ever since. Today, they'll vote on a temporary pause for new construction permits. WESH 2 Spencer Tracy is joining us live from Edgewater City Hall. And Spencer, residents here say they'll take any relief they can get.
Jason, that's right. I mean, during hurricane season in 2024, many of our WESH 2 crews went out to residents in Edgewater, where we saw that many of them traveled by boat to get to their homes, and we even saw many of their homes flooded. And now they tell us that after every storm, they feared when the next storm would come. Well, they don't want to worry about that anymore. So they're hoping that that building moratorium will finally give them some relief, as well as hoping that their homes are finally secure.
And time's running out right now to apply for federal disaster assistance following Hurricanes Helene and Milton. Floridians impacted by those storms must apply for FEMA help by tomorrow, January 7th. You have to apply separately for damages caused by each storm. Learn how to apply right now on WESH.com.
This morning, we have learned a man accused of shooting 2 people near Lake Mary will not face charges. 1 man was killed in that shooting early Sunday morning.
And WESH 2's Bob Hazen is joining us live now at the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. Bob, investigators there say the shooting was justified.
And the detectives here at the Sheriff's Office questioned that shooter yesterday, and they decided that he fired in self-defense.
All right, Bob. And in Orange County, we're learning more about a man shot and killed by Orlando police. Officers say 63-year-old Marvin Martin died because of unknown complications Saturday, 1 day after he was shot by an Orlando police officer during a confrontation at a gas station on John Young Parkway. When police arrived, they say Martin was told several times to put down a gun he was holding, but that Martin refused. That's when he was shot, police say. And they tell us they don't know his intent, but erred on the side of caution.
So you got to keep everybody safe. There's a lot of people at the busy business of BP. So you got to make a judgment call. You got to act. You give the multiple commands to drop the gun. People are at risk. You have to take action.
Our WESH 2 News team dug into Martin's history and found out this was not his first interaction with law enforcement. He was released from jail in 2023 after shooting a Miami Beach police officer in 1995. Police say they are still investigating Friday's case.
This week in Seminole County, you can learn about a road construction project planned in Castleberry.
And this one is set to shut down a major road. First warning traffic expert Megan Mackey joins us now live in the studio to show you some of the roads here that could be affected. Megan?
Yeah, guys, FDOT is planning to repave part of State Road 436 between Lake Howell Road and the Orange County line. This is in Castleberry. This is showing you exactly where this is. Now, they also plan to add crosswalks and curb ramps as a part of this $8.5 million project, and they want to hear the public's feedback. There is an open house tomorrow night at the Winter Park's Elk Lodge at 5:30. You can watch online and submit your questions to FDOT. We have a link to that to register over on our website at WESH.com.
All right, Megan. Right now, we are taking you live to Atlanta, Georgia. You're looking in where President Jimmy Carter is lying in repose at his presidential center.
Jarvis Robertson from our sister station joins us live now there as people continue to pay their respects. Jarvis, public viewing of Carter's casket continues today.
It does, Meredith and Jason. Now, we've seen so many people throughout the weekend come here to the Carter Presidential Center in Atlanta to pay their respects to the former President Jimmy Carter himself. Now, when you think about his life and his legacy, certainly it's one that's going to be remembered in a more favorable light as it relates to history. Now, there is a 24-hour public viewing of the casket that is happening right now. We are seeing people come out of the Presidential Center at this hour, even in the overnight to the early morning hours. People are getting a chance to come and pay their respects. Windy, wet, cold start to the morning here in Atlanta. That is not stopping the people. Now, the body will depart the Presidential Center tomorrow morning. From there, they will go to the Dobbins Air Reserve Base. From there, the remains of President Carter and his family will be transported to Washington. Reporting live in Atlanta this morning, I'm Jarvis Robertson, WESH 2 News.
And at 6:39 now in your first warning weather, we do have an impact day because later on we could be seeing some severe storms.
Well, yeah, and then that ushers in cold weather. Let's get to first warning meteorologist Kellyanne Class.
And we have days of impact weather, but they're from totally different things. The first one is going to be today for showers and thunderstorms, and a couple of those thunderstorms could be on the stronger side. And then after that, the stretch continues of impact weather, but for cold Arctic air. At least for this morning, no impact weather yet, but starting at 1 o'clock. o'clock is when we'll begin that impact weather through the 6 o'clock hour for a few strong to severe storms. And then as we go towards the 4-5 o'clock time frame, no severe storms across the I-4 corridor, but we're still keeping that impact weather around because it'll impact your evening commute along I-4. Then tonight, the cold air settles in. Morning temperatures in the 30s north and west of town. Some of us could even flirt with near freezing. That wider perspective also shows 30s for the metro with some widespread frost across the area. And it continues Wednesday morning and Thursday morning. And while it's not record cold, it's going to be the coldest air since last year, and it's going to feel much colder. We'll have that piece of the forecast coming up in a few minutes. But first, it is 6:40. Let's get a check of the roads this morning with Megan.
Kellyanne, a couple issues heading out the door right now. This is a live look in Brevard County, I-95 northbound at the beach line. There is a crash here blocking off that left shoulder as well as that left lane. So you can see not really having a huge impact to traffic, but some delays here heading out the door in Brevard. There's also a crash in Castleberry, State Road 436 at Aloma Avenue. Reportedly, all the lanes shut down here. Our chopper is heading that way right now. Hopefully we'll have those live pictures for you coming up here in about 5 to 10 minutes.
Tampa Bay is heading back to the postseason.
Yeah, after that win last night, the Bucs secured their spot in the NFL wildcard. Ahead, we're looking at this big victory and the history of success for this team. Stay with us.
You're watching WESH 2.
The Tampa Bay Bucs have done it again, securing their spot in the NFL playoffs.
Yeah, they're looking good. The Bucs heading to the 3 seed after their win yesterday, 27-19 against the New Orleans Saints. This is their 5th year in a row in the postseason. However, this one was emotional for another big reason. Wide receiver Mike Evans made history, extending his streak of 1,000 receiving yards for the 11th season in a row. That's a tie with Hall of Famer Jerry Rice for most ever consecutively.
He's one of one, and he deserves that. So obviously you saw the stadium erupt, the whole sideline erupt. You can tell how much people care about him and what that means for everybody around him.
It was amazing, man. They made it that much sweeter. NFC South champs, and then I'm tied in history with Jerry Rice. So, they made it that much more sweet. I love those guys to death.
Well, Tampa will face the Washington Commanders in the wild card round. Kickoff is Sunday at 8 o'clock right here on WESH 2. And here's a look at the other matchups on the schedule. We've got the Chargers and the Texans. They start the wild card round off at 4:30 on Saturday, and that's followed by the Steelers, Ravens. Then it's the Broncos and the Bills and the Packers and Eagles before Tampa's game. Then the Vikings and the Rams wrap up the round next Monday at 8 o'clock. At 6:47 now, we're talking about your weather and lots to get to today because we've got an impact day because we could see some severe storms later on.
Yeah, and then we have a very cold stretch ahead. Let's get to first warning meteorologist Kellyanne Class with the latest on the impact weather.
Yeah, and that's going to start today going all the way through Thursday. But today's impact weather will differ from the rest of the week because we'll have those showers and thunderstorms roll on in. But all of this impact weather is brought in by this cold front that is working through the panhandle right now, which will eventually give us some showers and thunderstorms later on in the day. Starting at 1 o'clock through the entire 6 o'clock hour is when we'll have that impact weather, mainly due to some stronger storms north and west of the I-4 corridor. But today's severe weather threat's going to be isolated. Not everyone is going to see severe weather, but there is that isolated chance for some gusty winds, and we'll be watching that tornado potential. 2, 3 o'clock, some showers and thunderstorms rolling through Marion County, Flagler County, then by 3:30 beginning to push towards the I-4 corridor, but not actually crossing I-4 until about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening. And at this point, our severe weather threat is over, but we are still keeping the impact weather during this time because it's going to impact your evening commute. After that, working towards Osceola and Brevard counties around 6:37. Then by 8, 9 o'clock tonight, the rain clears, the clouds clear, and then the cold air settles in. Here's a look at our actual temperatures for tomorrow morning. Maitland, Waterford Lakes, Wedgefield, Christmas, Conway, Hunters Creek, all at 39. Windermere at 37. Zellwood at 36. In Lake Mary, Sanford, 35. Altamont Springs, Winter Springs, Oviedo, and Chulliota at 39 degrees. Areas north and west, much colder to where we're flirting with freezing in Denellen. Lake Peninsauken, about 35 degrees. At 34 degrees in the Villages. Salt Salt Springs, Mount Dora, Asatola 35, 36 in Palm Coast, 39 degrees in Palm Bay, Vieira, Kenansville, Point Siena, 39 degrees in Kissimmee and St. Cloud. But we'll have a breezy wind tomorrow morning, so a lot of us will feel like the 20s and 30s. It's going to feel like 27 in Ocala, Palm Coast, 29 in DeLand, the Villages, Wildwood, 33 in Orlando, 32 in Bithlo, 33 in Titusville, and it's going to feel like 33 degrees in Palm Bay. So have the parkas, have the winter gear handy for tomorrow. You will need it. Right now, it's a beautiful start to our day. Here's a look outside at Port Canaveral. Thanks to our friends over at Rusty's at the port. Mostly clear conditions, temperatures in the 50s, so more mild than what we're going to experience tomorrow morning. But you still need the jackets as you get the kids ready for school. Some storms will roll through our north and west locations by the time you pick them up. But everyone today is going to feel that warm air. Temperatures top out into the middle and upper 70s. And tomorrow afternoon, we're in the 50s, and that stretch continues into Wednesday and Thursday. 30s for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning with afternoon highs in the 50s. 40s for Friday morning with afternoon highs in the 60s. All right, it is 6:50. Let's get over to Megan. Good morning.
Good morning, Kelly. And it is a busy morning on the road. Some breaking traffic news. There is a bad crash here if you're heading out the door in Castleberry. It's State Road 436, which is Cimarron, right at Aloma Avenue. Looks like this crash involves a bus as well as another car here. Traffic is intermittently getting by in that middle lane here, but there are some big backups heading out the door in Castleberry, traveling southbound along Cimarron. So anticipate that for your morning drive. No need for a detour. Also a crash in Brevard. This is I-95 northbound right at the beach line, mostly pulled off onto that shoulder, so no longer a huge impact to traffic, and those travel times are picking up along I-4. A lot of people heading back to work for the first time since the holiday, and some schools starting, so of course the roads very busy this morning. Take it slow for your morning drive, and later on this evening, as Kelly mentioned, that rain coming, have both hands on the wheel. I-4 eastbound from US 27 to the beach line, delays are already up to about 33 minutes. It is 6:51 on your Monday. Your top stories are straight ahead.
First morning weather on WESH 2 is sponsored by 1 Hour Heating and Air.
WESH 2 is there for the big story.
We are learning more about the man behind this terror attack. WESH 2's Christina Watkins joins us live now from the French Quarter in New Orleans.
The FBI says more than 400 people reached out to them with information
for local impact.
Memories, tributes, and commemorations are pouring in to honor the life of former President Jimmy Carter.
And alerting you to any changes in the forecast.
We're going to see our first real significant cold air blast.
For local live late-breaking news every day, trust WESH 2 News.
We're back this Monday at 6:53.
Our Sunrise team is getting you a final check of this morning's top news, weather, and traffic.
I'm Bob Hazen at the Seminole County Sheriff's Office, where detectives say a man accused of shooting and killing another man near Lake Mary will not face charges. That shooting happened early Sunday at the Notting Hill condos close to Heathrow. The shooter told investigators a man he was arguing with attacked him, so he opened fire. Deputies say it looks like that shooting was justified.
President Biden and the First Lady are visiting New Orleans today in the wake of the terror attack that left 14 dead and dozens more wounded. The White House says the President and First Lady will grieve with the families and community members.
And Congress will meet around noon today to certify the results of the presidential election. There will be a lot more security this year because this year marks 4 years since rioters tried to stop this same process in 2021.
Edgewater City Council will be meeting tonight to vote on 2 moratoriums. One of them will be to pause new construction permits. Now, this all comes after many of these neighborhoods in Edgewater were hit very hard by hurricane season in 2024. Now, if this is passed, this would last for a full year.
And getting a look at our forecast today, we have impact weather from 1 through the 6 o'clock hour for a few strong to severe storms north and west of town. And then we'll have impact weather for the 5, 6 o'clock hour as those storms roll across the I-4 corridor during that evening commute. Tonight, temperatures in the 30s, widespread frost, feeling like the 20s. Megan.
Kelly, and getting a final check of traffic this morning, there is a bad crash I'm monitoring in Castleberry. It's along Cimarron Boulevard, and it's here southbound approaching Aloma Avenue. 2 cars involved in this crash. Traffic is getting by in that middle lane, but it is slowing traffic both southbound as well as on that northbound side. I-4 off to a quiet start this morning, but a lot of people heading back to work, so heavier traffic here moving through downtown Orlando. So far, though, this morning we are crash-free along I-4.
And we will be right back with a look ahead at Hoda Kotb's farewell week on the Today Show.
Stay with us.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
NBC's Today begins a week-long farewell this morning to co-anchor Hoda Kotb. The Hodabration runs through Friday's final show, which will wrap up her 7-year run alongside Savannah Guthrie.
I mean, Hoda is loved by every single person on our crew, in the control room, the producers, every person on the plaza, everyone. And it's because she gives so much. She gives so much love. She is a one-woman love bomb detonating everywhere she goes.
That is such a good way to describe her. The week-long Hodabration begins in just a few minutes on Today. Don't miss it. Starting in seconds on WESH 2. And keep in mind, our team has 3 more hours ahead for you of local news. Join Mayor and Sheldon right now on CW18. Have a great rest of your Monday.